Dave says, what is all that then? This is Porsche special tool number 1 for doing the valve timing. In actual fact, it's the David Pengilly valve timing special tool number 1. It's a precision made piece of equipment, and I'm going to show you how it works. This is number 1 inlet, and I put a couple of nuts on here from Strumpski Racing in America. They make one of these made of metal, $198. So what I'm doing with this one is I've got 2 nuts, and when I tighten this onto here, it sits firmly and flush without any play right over the stem of valve number 1. So the idea then is I put my dial indicator through that hole, nip it up with a bolt, and I'll be able to do the valve timing. So we're going to find out today if I've saved $198 or if this has been a waste of time. So now for the big question, which I think everyone is asking themselves: how do you do the camshaft timing and get it spot on? So we've taken the nut off the end of the camshaft, and that allows us to use the special Dave and Dave restoration tool to pull out the pin, and I can screw that in, and then hopefully I can pull that out. Now if you can't pull it out, it's only because there's a bit of tension on the sprocket. You can back it off with a spanner on here and you will be able to pull that out. Okay, so next we got our special tool mounted on here, and that is completely steady on there, and there is one of these bolts on the other side for position 4, and it's clamping the dial indicator in there. So I'm not suggesting you all use a piece of oak from a staircase, but I did manage to build that for 0, and we've already set up number 1 cylinder and it's doing a perfect job. So at the moment we're at position Z1. Now Z1 for cylinder 4 is 360 degrees away from Z1 for cylinder 1, so we have gone round one time. We've set up the valve clearances to 0.1 millimeters, and then when the rockers are on the back of the cam, if I turn this back, you get the dial in there, you'll see now we're on the back of the cam. We're not at the Z1 position, we're on 0, and we want an opening of 1.25 millimeters when we get up to position Z1. So I come up towards Z1, just a few degrees to go. Now if we watch the dial indicator as it comes onto the cam, there we are, it started to go. So that is 1 millimeter, and if I look here on the pulley, I'm already at Z1. It's supposed to be 1.25 millimeters, so it should have come a little bit more onto the cam, and that shows me that I've not got my pin here in exactly the right position. I've got to now pull that out. It doesn't want to come, so if I just back off the tension, yeah, there, look, I can now take that out. I've done it wrong, yeah? Was it there? Yeah. Okay, let's go on a bit more. So what you do is you set it to 1.25 millimeters of lift. That is exactly there. So that is the right amount of lift on the valve. And my Z1 is slightly out of line here. So now I need to pull the pin out. That's it. It actually looked perfect, eh?
What was it?
It actually came up perfect. No one's going to know, are they? I line it up exactly on Z1, which I would say is there. I'm still on 1.25 millimeters on the dial gauge, so the cam has not moved, because with the pin out it's able to move independently. And now I want to find the best position which is there, and I put it back in. Okay, so as you can see there, it won't go in that hole, it won't go in that hole, it's got to be this one. And that is the cam timing set. So it's now got a lift of 1.25 millimeters exactly at the same time as the timing mark comes past position Z1. There we go. Hope you enjoyed that. That's number 4 done. So now we've done number 1, we've done number 4. We can tighten up the big nuts on the camshafts, which is normally done with Porsche special tool, but we're going to show you how to do that without the special tool.